You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Di Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Sip and Grow with me, your host, Nicole Di Pasquale. Today we're gonna get into something that I actually have never tried before. It's a Georgian wine. So how did I come across this? Well, first and foremost, I know that Georgian wine is actually getting back into, it's getting popular in the United States. When I was living in Sonoma County in Sebastopol, there's actually a really well-rated Georgian restaurant in the little town that I stayed in, Sebastopol, that I wanted to try while I was there, but I didn't get to try it. The food looked amazing, but I did learn that Georgian wines are actually becoming more popular now in the United States. And when I was in Total Wine, I actually got this recommended again by someone at the Total Wine in Aventura. And he was telling me the backstory of this producer because they had come in to kind of explain their story, which I'm glad that I found out the backstory because I couldn't find the story online. So this is actually a huge Georgian family that created this label. And basically each of their wine bottles is named after one of the siblings of the family. And supposedly each wine characteristic matches the personality of the person. So this one is actually Sava. And it is a white wine, 2023 vintage. And the grape varietal, it's one of the most famous white grape varietals in Georgia. It's called Mtsvane, which I believe that's how you pronounce it, but it's spelled Mtsvane. So one thing that I was reading up on Georgian wines in general, they are actually supposedly one of the first places where wine production actually happened. According to archaeological evidence, this is part of the, Caucasus region, which is made of Georgia, Armenia, Eastern Turkey, and then there's another one that I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget. I hope I say this right. Azerbaijan. Those are the 4 countries within that region, and supposedly they are the original place where wine production actually started way back when, 6,000 to 8,000 years ago. During the Middle Ages is when they thrived in wine production, Georgia specifically, and they even stick to this day. They stick to their old practices of using a clay vessel to store, to ferment or store the wines. And usually with these clay vessels, what they do is they either put it underground, if the temperature is right, or they put it in a set cellar so that they can control the temperature in the cellar. It just depends where you are in the country, but the country has really good terroir, really good altitude, climate, soil, climate I already said, basically it's just a match made in heaven for grapes to thrive and grow in. This one's from the south of the country, and I don't know, I'm really excited to try this wine. I've, like I said, never tried Georgian wine, but reading back on history, they did really well in wine production during the medieval times, and then at one point the phylloxera happened, which phylloxera was the bug that basically came from North America and destroyed all vineyards everywhere. Because, you know, us Americans, we love to just shake things up around the world. And then after that, the Soviet Union came into power for them. And they kind of have like a little attitude in regards to like alcohol. So they had like an anti-alcohol campaign during, I think it was like the 1980s. They had this like anti-alcohol campaign. And since they were under the Soviet Union control, basically they embargoed all wine exports from Georgia, which this really affected Georgia because their economy thrives on wine production. So it was really, really tough for them during that time. And then in 91, they became independent from the Soviet Union, and the embargo wasn't lifted until like 2013. Which it's funny because most of the like wine exports are like, most of the Soviet Union wines was actually produced in Georgia, and most of their like exports are into Russia. So found that interestingly hilarious. But anyways, let's open this up and try it. I was actually watching a video the other day. It was from like a clip from Jay Shetty's On Purpose podcast, and I came across it randomly, and then when I heard it, I was like, ooh, that's some good like life enlightening thing to take with you in life in general or whatever. So like, it was basically Jay Shetty interviewing this guy, which I need to find his name. I don't know his name. I need to find it. But basically, Jay Shetty was like, oh, like what's the best advice you ever received? And this guy was like talking about how when he was 19, he got like he paid $500 a month for like a life business coach, and every single call, like he doesn't remember a lot of the things from his calls, but he remembers this one call, and he said every call I would always like be complaining and making up excuses for like why things weren't going the way I wanted it to go. And one day his coach was like, if a business, like, everything is your fault. That's what he said. That's the phrase. He goes, everything is your fault. And then the guy was kind of like, what do you mean? And then the coach is like, if a business succeeds, whose fault is it? And then the guy starts thinking, he's like, well, he starts like responding certain things. And then the coach was like, it's the CEO's fault, right? If a business fails, whose fault is it? It's the person who orchestrates it. It's their fault, which is the CEO. So like, he was just saying, like, your life, like, stop victimizing yourself, because at the end of the day, like, your life is your fault. So, like, everything that happens to you is your fault. So the day that you decide to be like the CEO of your life is the day that like you're gonna make a huge impact or change in your life, because everything is your fault. And I was like, these are facts. But it's true. Like, I understand that there's certain things that happen to us that, you know, are like out of left field, and we're just like, why is this happening to us? But like, when you have that perspective of like, okay, what energy am I in that attracted this thing to happen to me, or this circumstance to happen to me, and how can I get out of it, or how can I move forward from it? Because, you know, life happens, shit happens, but at the end of the day, like, you are in control of everything. So the whole point of this was like, basically be the CEO of your own life, because at the end of the day, like, you don't want to get to 90 or 100 till the day, whatever, your last day on earth, and be like unhappy with not, you know, creating what you wanted to create, or following the dream that you wanted to follow, or being happy, fulfilled, joyful, peaceful, abundant, whatever it is that you wanted to do. Like, everything that happens in your life is your fault. So like, the day you make that shift, that change in your perspective, will be the day that you start like making everything your fault positively in your life. And I was like, that is probably one of the best advice any of us can take, because at the end of the day, like, you truly do have the power to create the life you want, but like, it's ultimately up to you. And like, you're gonna have bumps and bruises along the way, of course, but it's just making those adjustments and keeping that perspective of like, I'm in control and I have the power to create whatever the fuck I want to create in my life. Let's go ahead and taste this wine. So already immediately looking at it, it's actually like a very clear yellow. It's more like on the paler yellow side than like the like hay yellow side, if that makes sense. Like golden yellow is what I meant to say. Let's smell it. Immediately I'm getting like almost like pear, pineapple, because it's like on the sweeter side on the nose. I'm getting a lot of fruity, like sweet fruity notes. Let's go ahead and try it. Ooh. Okay. I love this wine immediately. It's very fresh, acidic. Like, acidity is crazy present in this. Like, it makes you just want to keep drinking more. So it feels almost like super refreshing. It's almost like you're drinking like you just squeezed a pear in here and put some lemon and you're just drinking that. And it's like super cold and fresh and just delicious in your mouth. And it almost has like a buttery, rich texture, and it goes down smoothly. I would say it's like medium bodied. It's like from light to medium bodied range. This wine cost me $18, and I would say yeah, man, strong pear notes and pineapple notes. I would say my rating for this wine would be, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I would rate this an 8.2 out of 10. I think it's really well balanced. More on the acidic, fresh side of things with like strong pear notes. It even has like an herbal texture to it, which I'm trying to. I can't pinpoint what it is, but it's almost like lemongrass. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like lemongrass. So like that's the herbal note in there that you taste, but it's like lemongrass mixed with pear, and it's just so, it goes down so smoothly, and it's like very refreshing that I just want to keep drinking it. I think for the price point, it's a great wine to go ahead and try if you're trying to get out there and try a new different type of white wine. Like, this is the way to go. Overall, I really like this wine, and I can't wait to like try more Georgian wines, because if this is how they're gonna taste, like, I have high hopes for the other wines that I try. But this is actually, you can get this at Total Wine. If you happen to try it, let me know what you think. As always, I will be probably finishing this bottle with my family tonight. But leave a review or a comment below, and just like let me know if there's anything that you want to hear specifically on this episode or on any future episodes, or on future episodes, not this episode because it's already done. But yeah, cheers. I hope you guys have a glass or two tonight. I'll see you on the next one.